which team do you have more liability on to win the Cup?
Yeah, tough to get a read on Game 1. It's still quite a ways away here, on Monday. So right now it's just two-way action as far as the, money line. A little bit on the puck line for the Bruins right now. That's to be expected with the, juicy payout. And the series price has been mostly Bruins money thus far.
What about from a future book standpoint? Is there a preference at CG as to which side you would like to see hoist the Cup?
No, actually, we look good either way. So right now, our series, our futures is this series. So it's kind of a clean slate here.
All right. It's going to be fun. I suspect you're going to get – this will be interesting to see how the players approach this because I think the sharper money is going to be on the under, particularly early in the series. This looks like it's going to be a real physical battle with two teams that kind of play similar styles. Both goaltenders have been really hot. So I'm going to be interested to see what happens with the over and under in Game 1 and then the subsequent matchups.
Yeah, especially throwing in Bruins, long layoff here. That hasn't been very good to teams thus far in the playoffs, and we'll see if that trend continues here in Game 1 especially.
Tonight, a couple of Major League Baseball games. Everything else is either being played now or is complete already. The Rays and Indians, and this is one of those confusing ones for the books because they're really, I don't even know if now it's been decided. I haven't checked in the last hour or so, but we didn't know who was going to start for the Rays, whether it be Yarbrough, whether it be an opener, and last night it was actually Snell that was listed, but they moved Snell to Friday, so we know he's not pitching, but this still could be opener, still could be Yarbrough, and the Indians will start Adam Plutko, who's had just one start this season, but it was a really good one.
Yeah, Adam Plutko, the UCLA guy. Looks like right now we are seeing Rays money. That's expected. The Indians, coming off a tough series against Oakland, and the Rays, playing still, kind of choppy baseball, but certainly, a contender at this point.
Well, but when we're talking about the White Sox and Astros, my first question is this. Are the volumes increased with only 3 games tonight, one in the NBA and these 2 baseball games? And are people chasing after this red-hot Astro team that's off a rare loss last night?
You would think they would, but Martin going for the Astros is probably scaring away a few bettors, considering he's somewhat of a no-name to the novice baseball bettor. So right now it's more Astro money than White Sox money, but certainly not to the point where you would think after that loss yesterday as almost a $4 favorite.
So let's look at some of the future book setups that are available right now at CG and maybe talk about the team you'd like to see least come out on top or the team you'd like to see most come out on top in the different sports. What about in baseball right now? Who's the best and worst as far as the future book liabilities are concerned?
Well, right now, surprisingly, the best or the worst result would be if some of the no-name teams would win. Be like if Seattle or Baltimore, the also-rans would win. And the better results would be some of the better teams, just put it that way, and put it mildly. Some of the top teams actually right now wouldn't be such a bad result because of the odds. Baseball, a lot of people like to take a flyer on those loyal long shots and a few dollars, and they add up.
Yeah, I don't think you got to worry about Seattle or Baltimore, to be honest with you.
No, not going to lose any sleep over them.
The funny thing is that Seattle under, which looked absolutely dead with the team getting off to a 13-2 start, I believe they're now on pace to go under the total.
Yeah, it's amazing, especially after their horrendous performance at Texas this past week. Getting swept there. They've just been on a downward spiral. Same with Baltimore, blowing that game to I don't say blow the game today, but certainly fought all the way back, and they lost in the 9th inning. They walked in the winning run. Typical Baltimore.
How about in the NFL? We're going to talk about weeks 2 through 16, which is so exciting you guys put out. But as far as the future markets go, does anyone stand out as a liability to either win a division or win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, let's see. Right now, looks like some of the teams that we're seeing the most money on right now are the Bears and Dallas.
Dallas, really?
Yeah, the bettors are really flying on those teams. Jacksonville, believe it or not, is another team that's attracting some futures money to win the Super Bowl. And the teams that right now that aren't seeing too much money are Washington, Tampa Bay, and Cincinnati. Surprisingly, even with the new coach.
Have you received even one future bet on the Miami Dolphins?
Miami Dolphins. Yes, we've received more than one bet.
Really?
Yeah, more than one, but less than 100.
Okay, and one other, the Denver Broncos. Because the Broncos are usually popular out here, but I think even their fan base is not real optimistic at this point.
Yeah, it looks like with Denver, we've seen some promising bets come in on Denver. So it looks like we've gotten action. We have gotten action on Denver, and that wouldn't be such a great thing if they won the Super Bowl. So that's surprised. Joe Flacco has sparked some interest, maybe because he won a Super Bowl a zillion years ago.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right, so let's talk about weeks 2 through 16 because you guys went ahead and put this up last week actually, and that's pretty ambitious on CG's part. And in a lot of these games, some of the bigger games, projected bigger games, you even put up more than just the sidelines. You put up totals as well.
Yeah, totals and money lines on a couple of the bigger games. The prime time games.
So what have we seen? Has there been any correlation between what you're seeing as far as the future book and action on games involving those teams?
A couple of them, yeah. Certainly the Bears, there's been some correlation with the Bears in the futures market and the betting as far as, week-by-week basis. I'll just go down some of the weeks here, make it real easy. Yeah, week 2, some money coming in on Dallas, the Bears as well when they play Denver, and the Browns, who in the futures market, believe it or not, the Browns, we've taken some money on them recently, so they're back in a situation where there's a liability on Cleveland. So we've seen, and that's correlated to the betting. Week 3, money on the Bears. Surprisingly here, money on the Lions, hosting the Chiefs, kind of an outlier. And then the Browns again against the Ravens. So a lot of Browns.
Are you getting some negative action on the Kansas City side? Because there does appear to be growing sentiment that despite the fact that their quarterback is a phenomenal football player, that the team as a whole might not be as good as they were last year. And they're coming out of, I think it's fair to say, an end of the season that wasn't ideal. Yeah,
I think there's been some, skepticism on backing Kansas City to win it all for a couple of reasons. Certainly losing, both of their running backs from last year, but certainly now that's second running back, and also the new defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, who hasn't exactly, after he left the Giants, he really hasn't had a great resume since then. So is that defense going to be much better with him, calling the plays there on defense? That remains to be seen.
But the flip side of it is, and this is kind of against type, normally there's usually a pretty good flow of action against the Super Bowl loser because that trend is unmistakable. I mean, it's been a big winner over the years is going against the Super Bowl loser early in the season.
Yep.
But from what I'm gathering, that's not the case with the Rams, and the market is not treating them like they're going to have a Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, the Rams haven't seen too much in the futures market, but certainly I think it appears we've gotten their numbers right because we haven't seen a lot of action against them, weeks 2 through 16. So I think bettors a little bit more scared of the Chiefs than they are of the Rams, maybe because of the Chiefs' schedule as well.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're pretty explosive. What about New England? Because they just keep going and going and going, and the Brady-Belichick combo is back for another season. And from all appearances, they're about to sign Edelman, I guess, to what amounts to a lifetime contract. I don't think the Gronkowski loss is being looked upon as enormous. There's some school of thought they might actually be better than they were last year.
It's very possible. They certainly at the end of the year, on paper, they didn't look as good as they had been years past, and that was certainly caught us off guard with the playoff run that they made. But the only action we've seen on them as far as a week-to-week basis has been at the Jets in Week 7. So that's really all we've seen. And in the futures market, same thing. It's been kind of slow with them in the futures market.
This is really New England time. Tampa Bay cut McCoy. The Browns are interested in McCoy, but so is New England. And you have these veterans who aren't getting paid what they want to play, and they want to go play for a winner. And this is where New England's going to pick up 3 or 4 guys. They come up and play part-time or are part-time starters and just put them to the next level. That's what the Patriots do with Belichick.
Yeah, they always seem to plug-and-play guys and find these guys that the old adage, another team's trash, their treasure. Yeah. And you figure a guy like that will just pop in and be a huge factor, especially from day one.
If the Patriots think there's anything left in Gerald McCoy's tank, he's going to be in Foxborough.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he went anyplace else if the Patriots want him, because it's a great chance for him to get a ring. And he actually fits in really well in that defense if he can still play some, because he wouldn't be an every down player, and I think he could actually excel in their system.
Yeah, certainly stopping the run, and now that they have to contend with Le'Veon Bell, if he stays with the Jets, Belichick seems to like to go player for player in those type of scenarios when a team gets a big name guy.
Yeah, I mean, this is a person the Browns wanted to trade for, but they wanted too much. So this was a writer who interviewed McCoy. McCoy said, I'm going to go somewhere where I can win a ring, period. And, it's nice as a Browns fan that at least Cleveland's in that discussion now. It used to be a joke. No free agent would ever go to Cleveland because why? But now, I mean, you're drawing in some people and he's getting some support. But again, if you're a senior player, a veteran player in the NFL, you got a couple years left. Why wouldn't you play with Belichick and Brady? I mean, it just seems like the place to go.
And, and here's the cool thing: all these things we're talking about, they're available on your app. You don't have to make any snap decisions. You've literally got months to think about it. But all the numbers are right there in front of you. You can run them down, kind of take a look at where they are, make some decisions at your leisure, and it's so easy. You just stop at any of the CG locations around town, get your account set up, and you're good to go. Yeah,
I mean, you got the NBA playoffs. Game 6 coming up this weekend. Stanley Cup Final starts on game 1 on Monday, Memorial Day, and baseball's in full swing right now. So definitely got to download the app and sign up for an account at one of our sports books so you can just prepare and bet like a pro.
For our listeners, this is one time I do like the hard copy. I like having this hard copy when the season starts to see what those thoughts were in the spring when they're posting these lines for weeks 2 through 16. So I make sure I grab one of these CG sheets, have all the lines for all the games, and then when you're into September, October, November handicapping the NFL, you can go look back to at least where CG's thoughts were on these two teams during the summer months.
Absolutely. Pick up one of those booklets and keep it handy throughout the season and see how even if you're not betting those particular games, just see how different the lines fluctuate throughout the season. I mean, you're going to see some drastic moves that'll make your head spin. Well,
we'll talk to you again later today on the WagerTalk podcast. Thanks as always, bud.
Look forward to it. Take care.
Will Bernanke, follow him on Twitter at the Moneyline Guy. Coming up next, boy, it's been a while since I've talked to my friend Joe Sheehan. Looking forward to some great baseball talk next.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
Cliff Miller with me, Dave Cokin. We're talking about what's happening at MJ Christensen at Boca Park. And let's talk about diamonds because they're a girl's best friend and they're also the most intimidating thing in the world for guys.
They see a GSI 1 carat and one's $4,000 and one's $14,000. And they don't understand why. That's why people are flooding into MJ, because we'll sit you down and educate you and help you select the perfect diamond for your occasion.
MJ Christensen, something special for the love of your life. Located at Boca Park.
I'm attorney Paul Powell. A lot of lawyers promise a lot of things. No fee unless we win. The consults are free. Of course they offer that stuff. All lawyers do that. But will they promise not to take more money than you at the end of your case? No. When you call me, that answer's yes. I'll never take more money than you, and I put it in writing.
Call 728-5500 or go to paulpowell.com.
I really can help.
Paul Powell.
More lawyer, less fee.
Some restrictions apply.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Is it true that mostly low-income people use Dollar Loan Center?
No, that couldn't be further from the truth. It's not just poor people who use these type of services. Our customers are from all walks of life, all income levels, full-time people, part-time people, renters, homeowners, you name it. We also have all kinds of small business owners who really rely on us, landscapers, contractors, restaurants. They all need money for supplies, materials, payroll. This is the real world. You can't just go into a bank and get a quick loan the same day.
Believe me, I've tried, and you are 100% spot on.
And then when they get paid, they can come in, pay us off, and they're really only paying interest for the few days that they need the money in the first place. Now that's a huge win-win.
Thanks, Chuck. Whether you just need some cash till payday or you own a small business and need a quick loan, give Dollar Loan Center a shot. You can apply online at don'tbebroke.com or stop by one of our over 50 locations.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet the normal loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
Are you feeling like every car and SUV are the same? Are you feeling like you must have something different? Are you feeling like there must be a better place to go and get it? And are you feeling like you must make a change today? Then you must visit Southern Nevada's newest Mazda dealership, Findlay Mazda, now open and conveniently located at the Valley Auto Mall in Henderson. Because when it must be a Mazda, it must be a